give a whole honor. Brothers. It's your favorite eye. Forever. They cause perfection. Yeah. I give a whole honor to the scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled. That man look good with the bill. I give a whole honor to the scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled. That man look good with the bill. Oh, Burley, that Boca Toe spread across the globe. That light, we make it bubble like we sugar Sprite. They might, two muscles up, live my house for sure. Your hood, it's all I need, the only strength I know. No homies, I got my eyes. You see the box, one house, that flavor thick. You know I'm Dallas, I'm rude, that's what they saying. Cause I ain't playing. Pig, I take it serious, it's more than lyrics. I'm smoking, fresh out the furnace. This dude is earnest. Don't break the law, obey the law. A faithful servant, no happy. Just keep it silent. No I don't Friday. Around, no out of pocket. I stay on topic. This rhythm, something peculiar. Righteous maneuvers, it's crazy. They got no house, but got the rumors. No cooning, keep my position. No vain ambitions, just purpose. You who is will, that's all I'm working. I give a whole honor to the scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled. That man look good with the bill. I give a whole honor to the scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled. That man look good with the bill. I give a whole honor to the scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled, get you filled. That melon go good with the meal. I give a whole honor to these scripts. Sticking to the law, never slip. Tryna hang around, get you filled, get you filled. That melon go good with the meal.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. I hope all is well. We're going to read 31 and 32. And just a heads up, this word is going to sound repetitive. It's going over a lot of the stuff that we've went over, that the Most High's went over with us. But may I remind you of what I say all the time. Every word in his word is beyond absolute necessary. If we weren't meant to read chapter 1 and chapter 32, he would have left it out. He wouldn't have caused people to lose their lives to get it to us. It's going to go over a lot of the points that he's went over with us thus far in Ezekiel. So it's going to sound repetitive. But may I remind you of another thing. My sleeves are rolled up, suited and booted, baby. I'm here to do the work. And in chapter 33, you're going to see why I must do the work, why I'm doing the work, why you must be doing the work. So let's just get at it right now. Verse 1, and it came to be in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, on the 1st of the new moon, that the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, say to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, and to his crowd, to whom are you to be compared in your greatness? See, Ashur was a cedar in Lebanon, beautiful branches and forest shade, and of high stature, and its top was among the thick foliage. The waters made him great, the people, and the deep gave it height with its rivers running around its planting, and sent their channels to all the trees of the field. Therefore its height was lifted up above all the trees of the field, and its boughs were increased, and its branches became long because of the many waters, as it sent them out. May I also remind you, when it's talking about Pharaoh, the sovereign of Mitzrayim, it's talking about the way life is right now. Life as you know it. The money as you know it. All the material objects around you as you know it. Capitalism. The dollar. America's influence. The petrodollar. That's what it's talking about. All the birds of the heavens made their nest in its boughs, and under its branches all the beasts of the field gave birth, and in its shadow all great nations dwelt. You see? Not any longer, because now Saudi Arabia is selling its oil for currencies other than the US dollar. So them nations are coming out from its shadow. And it was beautiful in greatness, and in the length of its branches, for its roots reached to many waters. Cedars in the garden of the Most High did not hide it. Fir trees were not like its boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like its branches. No tree in the garden of the Most High was as pretty as it. I made it beautiful by its many branches, so that all the trees of Eden, which were in the garden of the Most High, were jealous of it. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, because you have increased in height, and it set its top among the thick foliage, and its heart was lifted up in its height. You should know what that means. I gave it into the hand of the mighty one of the nations, and he shall certainly deal with it. I have driven it out for its wrong. For its wrong. Not for its stench or for its creepiness. For its wrong. For what it got wrong. All foreigners, the most ruthless of the nations, shall cut it down and leave it. Agenda 2030. Its branches shall fall on the mountains and in all the valleys. Its boughs lie broken by all the rivers of the land. And all the peoples of the earth shall come out from under its shadow and leave it. On its ruin shall dwell all the birds of the heavens. And all the beasts of the field shall be on its fallen branches. So that none of the trees by the waters would exalt themselves because of their height, nor set their tops among the thick foliage, and that no tree which drinks water would ever be high enough to reach up to them. For all of them shall be given up to death, to the depths of the earth, among the children of men who go down to the pit. Let me make something clear before we go any further. Before we hit verse 15. We're going to get to chapter 33, and you want to stick around to hear what chapter 33 is talking about. There's some people, I ain't going to say their names, who some of the things they've been saying to me personally, I'm going to address. So that could be you. So don't touch that dial. I got a word for you. And your life depends on hearing it. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, in the day when it is brought down to Sheol, I shall cause mourning. I shall cover the deep because of it, and hold back its streams, and many waters shall be confined. And I shall make Lebanon mourn for it, and all the trees of the field shall wither away because of it. I shall make the nation shake at the sound of its fall, when I bring it down to Sheol, together with those who descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice of the and best of Lebanon. All that drink water shall be comforted in the depths of the earth. They too shall go down to Sheol with it, with those slain by the sword, and those who deal were its strength. Those who were its strength shall dwell in its shadows among the nations. To whom are you to be compared in esteem and greatness among the trees in Eden? But you shall be brought down with the trees of Eden to the depths of the earth. lie in the midst of the uncircumcised with those slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his crowd, declares the Master Yahuwah. And it came to be in the 12th year, in the 12th new moon, on the first of the new moon, that the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, and you shall say to him, You were like a young lion among the nations, and you are like a monster in the seas, and you burst forth in your rivers, and trouble the waters with your feet, and muddy their rivers. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, And I shall spread my net over you with an assembly of many peoples, and they shall bring you up in my net. And I shall leave you on the land, hurl you out on the open fields, and make all the birds of the heavens dwell on you. And with you I shall satisfy the beasts of all the earth. And I shall put your flesh on the mountains, and fill the valleys with your height, and water the land with the flow of your blood unto the mountains, and let streams be filled with you. And when I extinguish you, I shall cover the heavens, and make its stars dark. I shall cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of the heavens I shall make dark over you, and I shall bring darkness upon your land, declares the Master Yahuwah. And I shall trouble the hearts of many peoples when I bring your destruction among the nations, into the lands which you have not known. And I shall make many peoples appalled at you, and the sovereigns shall be greatly afraid of you when I swing my sword before them. And they shall tremble continually, every man for his own life in the day of your fall. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, The sword of the sovereign of Babel shall come upon you. By the swords of the mighty men, all of them the ruthless ones of the nations, I shall make your host fall. And they shall ravage the arrogance of Mitzrayim, and all its hosts shall be destroyed. And I shall destroy all its beasts from beside its great waters, and let the foot of man trouble. Let the foot of man trouble them no more. Nor let the hooves of beasts trouble them. Then I shall make their waters clear, and make their rivers run like oil, declares the Master Yahuwah. No more life as you know it. No more TikTok and expensive things, and haha, look at me, chest poked out like a Bani rooster. No more of that shit. Soon it will be that the rivers flow with oil, with the desire to keep his word, the desire to be humble and not arrogant, no pride. When I lay the land of Mitzrayim waste, and the land shall be stripped of all that once filled it, when I have stricken all who dwell in it, then they shall know that I am Yahuwah. This is the lamentation, and they shall lament her. The daughters of the nations lament her. Over Mitzrayim and over all her crowd they shall lament her, declares the Master Yahuwah. And it came to be in the 12th year, on the 15th of the new moon, that the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, wail over the crowd of Mitzrayim, and send them down to the depths of the earth, her and the daughters of the mighty nations, which with those going down to the pit. Are you more pleasant than others? Go down, be placed with the uncircumcised. In the midst of those slain by the sword they fall. She shall be given to the sword, drawing her and all her crowds. The mightiest among the mighty speak to him. Out of the midst of Sheol with those who help him. They have gone down, they lie with the uncircumcised, slain by the sword. Ashur is there, and all her assembly with their burial sites all around her, all of them slain, fallen by the sword, whose burial sites are set in the sides of the pit. And her assembly is all around her burial place, all of them slain, fallen by the sword, because they instilled fear in the land of the living. There is Elam, and all her crowd around her burial place, all of them slain, fallen by the sword, who have gone down uncircumcised to the lower parts of the earth, because they instilled fear in the land of the living. And they bear their shame with those going down to the pit. They have set her bed in the midst of the slain, with all her crowd, with her burial sites all around it, all of them uncircumcised, slain by the sword, for the fear they instilled in the land of the living. So they bear their shame with those going down to the pit. In the midst of the slain they have been placed. There are Meshach and Tubal, and all her crowd, with all their burial sites around it, all of them uncircumcised, slain by the sword, because they instilled fear in the land of the living. And they shall not lie with the mighty who are fallen of the uncircumcised, who have gone down to Sheol with their battle gear, and whose swords were laid under their heads. But their crookedness are on their bones, because of the fear of the mighty in the land of the living. And you shall be broken in the midst of the uncircumcised, and lie with those slain by the sword. There is Edom, her sovereigns and all her princes, who shall be given up in their might, who's slain by the sword. With those slain by the sword, with the uncircumcised they lie, and with those going down to the pit. There are the princes of the north, all of them, and all of the Sidonians, who have gone down with the slain because of the fear they instilled. They are ashamed of their might, and they lie uncircumcised with those slain by the sword, and bear their shame with those going down to the pit. Pharaoh, and all his army shall see them, and he shall be comforted for all his host that were slain by the sword, declares the Master Yahuwah. For I have put a fear in him in the land of the living, yet he shall be placed in the midst of the uncircumcised with those slain by the sword. Pharaoh and all his host, declares the Master Yahuwah. Okay, we're going to read chapter 33, and we're going to end it for the night. Like I said, I want to address a few, I don't even know, would you call them statements? Actually, in reality and truth, they're ridicule, reproach, mocking, and scoffing. But this is what I have to say. I'm not going to say any names, but you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention to everything the Most High just told you. He sounded repetitive because just like him, I don't think you quite get the scope of what's about to happen to you. Otherwise, you'd have done come up out of her before you partake in her plagues. You got your legs spread wide open, and you're about to get all of the plagues because you refuse to come out of her. That's why he's been sounding repetitive like a parrot, repeat on repeat. Those people, I've had people come to me asking me, trying to encourage me to stop making my videos. Stop it. That there's other stuff that you could be doing, that your videos, you could be doing other things. Like they know what I do in a day's time. Like they haven't read chapter 33 of Ezekiel yet. And these are people who, the only people, first before I say that, the only people who would have a problem with me reading the word of the Most High are those who can't stand to hear it. It burns their ears. They don't want to hear about what they're doing. They don't want to come out of Babylon. They love it. They justify it. They rationalize it. And encourage other people to partake. Well, you need, if that's you, you know who you are. You best pay attention to what chapter 33 says. And the next time you feel the need to come to me and try to discourage me, try to bring fear, instill fear in me, you need to pay attention to what 33 is going to say. These people who have done this, they're people who still vote, who have Trump signs in their yard. Donald Trump. Who's in a lawsuit right now, or whatever you want to call it, going to court over paying hush money to a porn star because they had sex with that porn star while they were married. Now, hey, we've all done things we shouldn't have done. You're right. We all do things. We've done things, and we've asked for forgiveness. We've moved on. I'm not beating up Trump over what he did with Stormy Daniels. No, I'm not. I'm warning those who still want to support a man going through that who has an inverted triangle with 666 on the side of his building. I've proved to you that he invokes, or he is Apollyon, the king over the scorpions with the sting in their tails. The only one you should be endorsing is Abba Yahuwah. And these people who've came at me are the same people who love that Star of David, who love getting money give to them in their assemblies. The people I'm talking about, here a while back, a man was supposed to get a big settlement, and he promised this assembly that he'd give him $50,000. And they were just all up in arms with smiles, grins from ear to ear, already planning on what they were going to do with that money, already making plans. And when I heard, oh, this guy, he's going to donate $50,000. I seen that shit-eating grin on their face, and I thought to myself, oh boy. And about a week later, that guy backed out. And we got to see them uncover their nakedness, uncover their heart. These are the same people who are telling me, would you please stop making your videos, David? Please? Because there's other things you could be doing with your time. Like they know what I do with my time. Got no idea. Listen up to what 33's got to say, and you'll know why I give a whole hundred to these scripts. You should be thankful that there is someone out here who's willing to lay it all on the line for these scripts. And if you have a brain cell in your head, you best turn your ears on and listen to what the word of Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, has to say. If you've got an ounce of common sense in your being, you best get face down and appreciate anyone giving all esteem, all honor, all praise, and all glory to Him. And you best let loose, let that death grip you have on falsehood, on bullshit, go. Verse 1, and the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, Son of man, speak to the children of your people. Well, according to these people, they don't want me to speak anymore. They want me to shut up. Do something in one hand and something in the other, because that's the best you're going to get. And you shall say to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of the land shall take a man from their borders, and shall make him their watchman, and he sees the sword coming upon the land, and shall blow with the shofar, and shall warn the people, then whoever shall hear the voice of the shofar, that's what you're hearing right now, and shall not take warning, if the word comes and takes him away, his blood is on his own head. Yeah, that's pretty bad. If you don't take and heed the warning that you're not to say the name Hell Zeus, you shouldn't be endorsing Donald Trump. These are people too that some of these people, I remember back in like 2014 when I was talking about flat earth, which I never talk about anymore because I know how controversial it is and it's neither here nor there, but I know the truth. These are people who called me every name in the book. They mocked and laughed at me like I was a pathetic joke over flat earth, over what the scripture says regarding it. Them same people, they're flat earther extremists now. Now, that's all they talk about. But when it comes to the holidays, because they still want to partake. When it comes to Donald Trump, because they just love it. When they still want to back the flag that has stars on it. But yet they'll tell you Torah out the other side of their mouth, which in it tells us not to have anything to do with anything in the heavens. They want to ridicule someone for being, and they'll tell you that I'm extreme because I won't partake in paganry. And I never shut up about why you shouldn't partake. And I never cease to spit the word of the Most High. They want me to stop. These people are who the Most High is talking about here. These pastors in these assemblies who they won't get too deep in the word because it's going to affect their pocketbook. And they, before they die, they want to make good on all those promises to all their buddies that they would eventually have a following and a big building. Totally disregarding what's necessary. Trading it for folly and falsehood. Then whoever shall hear the voice of the shofar and not take warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood is on his own head. If you hear this, I'm not going to stop. If you don't take warning, that's on you. He heard the voice of the shofar, but did not take warning. His blood is on himself. But he who takes warning shall deliver his being. I pray that's you. But if the watchman sees the sword coming, that means sees the twisted and lies, untruthful interpretation of the word. Like that the tree in the garden was a literal tree and that Eve and Adam ate a fruit and now we're all cursed. That was literal. That wasn't. That's the sword that's come upon your head and chopped the top of it off. Reality is that the life you're living right now is exactly that tree, which was gave to us by the sword. And because I was diligent enough to look into it, because Abba allowed me to, all praise and honor, glory and esteem to him, I was able to understand, gain the understanding that wasn't a literal tree and a literal fruit. That the understanding of that is it's a million trillion % necessary. That if you want to live, you have to understand what that tree and that fruit was. But you laugh. The people I'm talking about that want me to shut up, they laugh about this. I've seen it with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears. They laugh about it. Ha ha ha, look, David, ha ha. Laugh now and cry later. That's all I got to say. But if the watchman sees a sword coming and shall not blow the shofar, and the people shall not be warned, and the sword comes and takes any being from among them, he is taken away in his crookedness, and his blood I require at the watchman's hand. I'm going to do all I can to not let that happen. I don't want your blood on my hands. No. I want to be set free of all captivity. And you, son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Yasharallah. And you shall hear a word from my mouth, and you shall warn them for me. Add attention. Anytime. As long as I got life in this body, you got it, Abba. When I say to the wrong, oh, wrong one, you shall certainly die. And you have not spoken to warn the wrong from his way, that wrong one shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. But when you have warned the wrong to turn from his way, and he has not turned from his way, he shall die in his crookedness. But you have delivered your being. And you, O Son of Man, say to the house of Yasharallah, this is what you have said. If our transgressions and our sins lie upon us, and we pine away in them, how then shall we live? But repent, do a 180, and come out of her now. Right now. Donald Trump ain't worth your eternal life. He ain't getting your blood put on my hands. Neither is that star, neither is Hanukkah, neither is Christmas, Easter, birthday parties, Valentine's Day, the tree in the garden. None of it. I'm never going to stop. So shut up. Go bark up another tree. This tree is going to esteem the Most High till I can't breathe anymore. So you might as well give it up. Say to them, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wrong, but that the wrong turn from his way and live. Turn back from your evil ways. For why should you die, O house of Yasharallah? Why? You don't have to die. And you, O Son of Man, say to the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous man shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. And as for the wrongness of the wrong, he shall not stumble because of it in the day that he turns from his wrong. Don't matter what you did before. Turn now. If you turn, all that you've done before will be null and void. If I don't continue to do what the Most High asked me to do, even though you're asking me not to, if I don't do that, then anything good or right that I've done in the past will be null and void. What I'll be held accountable for is the wrong I do today. And guess what? For those of you who want me to do wrong and to not blow my shofar, it ain't going to happen until I'm dead. And as for the wrongness of the wrong, he shall not stumble because of it in the day that he turned from his wrong. And the righteous shall not be able to live because of his righteousness in the day that he sins. When I say to the righteous that he shall live, and he has trusted in his righteousness, and shall do unrighteousness, none of his righteousness shall be remembered. But because of his unrighteousness that he has done, he shall die. Like a parrot. Again, when I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die. If he turns from his sin and does right and righteousness, if the wrong restores the pledge, that pledge is that I'll have nothing to do. I won't whore it all with these other gods, these idols. And you get to discern what are idols and what are not. Because you know best, Abba. And I don't. Gives back what he has stolen. If you're a pastor in these assemblies, you better give back what you've stolen. If you ain't warned these people about the tree in the garden, about Hanukkah and the Star of David, because it brings people into your church or your assembly, and you got plans on having a big building and all this nonsense, you better restore the pledge. Give back what you've stolen. And walks in the laws of life without doing crookedness. He shall certainly live. He shall not die. None of his sins which he has committed shall be remembered against him. He has done right and righteousness. He shall certainly live. And the children of your people have said, the way of Yahuwah is not fair. It's not fair because we want to give gifts and get gifts and wrap them and have candles, and we love Donald Trump. He's a patriot. We don't care about what ravaging this government has done. Let me ask you this. All the raping and pillaging that this government has done, it's going to pay for. And when these other countries come to remove it, are you going to be a patriot and fight for all the molestation that this government has done to the land? And that's what it's done. Yeah, prove me wrong on that. I'll be right here waiting. You best come prepared. You won't be, because there is no preparation for it. I've got it. When the righteous turns from his righteousness and does unrighteousness, he shall die because of it. But when the wrong turns from his wrongness and does right and righteousness, he shall live because of it. So turn now. And you have said, the way of Yahuwah is not fair, O house of Yasharallah. I shall judge every one of you according to his own ways. And it came to be in the 12th year of our exile, in the 10th month, on the 5th of the new moon, that one who had escaped from Jerusalem came to me and said, the city has been stricken. All you people who want me to stop, you've been stricken. I hope you come out of that disease and stop spreading it and stop putting other people's blood on your hands. And the hand of Yahuwah came upon me the evening before the man came who had escaped, and he had opened my mouth before he came to me in the morning. And, and my mouth was open, and I was no longer silent. Then the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, they who inhabit those ruins in the land of Yasharal are saying, Abraham was only one, and he inherited the land, but we are many. Let the land be given to us as a possession. Therefore say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, you what? You eat meat with the blood, with blood. Another warning I've been telling you. I've been passing along. Another reason I've been blowing my shofar that you guys laugh at. You've laughed at me over this. How many of you laughed and still wet your whistle with all the hamburger and blood-saturated meat you want? You probably did it more in spite of what I said. You're not spiting me. You're spiting yourself. And you're causing the wrath of the Most High to come down upon your head. That's the Pharaoh of Mitzrayim. That arrogance that you have, where you can translate the word how you want to translate it. Woe to you. And you lift up your eyes toward your idols and shed blood. Should you then possess the land? Yeah, right. You depend on your sword, on your own word. And you commit abominations. Yes, you do. Just the fact that you're trying to get me to stop blowing my shofar is an abomination. And each of you defiles his neighbor's wife. Should you then possess the land? Should you? Say this to them. Thus says the Master Yahuwah. You ain't master of nothing. Nothing. As I live, those who are in the ruin shall fall by the sword, and the one who is in the open field I shall give to the beast to be devoured. And those who are in the strongholds and caves shall die of the pestilence. And I shall make the land a desert and a waste. The arrogance of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Yasharal shall be a waste, with none passing through. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I have made the land a desert and a waste because of all their abominations which they have done. As for you, Son of man, the children of your people are talking about you beside the walls and in the doors of the houses. I know, Abba. I know. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it. You know, I see it. They're not out here telling people who are leading astray to shut up. They're telling me who speaks the word of the Most High to shut up. And they say I'm wrong, but I give them the opportunity every time pretty much I speak to prove me wrong. And that I'll be right here waiting. They never show up. They're not even showing the bottom of their Nikes anymore. But they love to talk shit. And that's all they talk. And they speak to each other, each saying to his brother, please come and hear what the word is that comes from Yahuwah. And they come to you as people do, and they sit before you as my people, and they hear your words, but they do not do them. Those of you who ain't talking shit, but you hear what I'm saying, but yet you still haven't taking heed. You're not a doer of the word. You best do it. You best become a doer now. For with their mouth they show much love. Their hearts pursue their greedy gain. Greedy gain. I know that pastor who I got in mind right now won't hear this. But if you do happen to hear this, buddy, you best take heed to what the Most High has said to you. You best take heed to the shofar blast you just heard in your ear. Because all those people in your congregation who you're not feeding the true word of the Most High to, you won't go so far because you're worried they'll leave your premises and you won't get that weekly contribution. You best turn from your error, turn from your falsehood, and speak the word only of the Most High now, or you're going to have a lot of blood on your hands. And see, you are to them as a very lovely song of one who has a beautiful voice and playing well on an instrument. And they hear your words, but they do not do them. When it comes, see, it shall come. Then they shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. You know how I'm a prophet? I speak the word of the Most High. I read it. That's why we're here on Ezekiel. The whole reason we're here is because of the measurements of the temple, of the set-apart place, of the Hakal, which you must know. It's not just for carpenters. It's for everyone who enters in through those pearly gates. But the majority of y'all, you don't even want to acknowledge what the pearly gates are. You still think that they're actual gates made of pearl. And you laugh and you mock and you scoff someone like me bringing the word to you. I got one last message for you before peace out, D's out on this one. I give a whole 100 to these scripts. I go face down daily to Abba Yahuwah, not you, the Most High, my wonderful Creator. And not you, but Him gets all honor, all praise, all glory, and all esteem. Get your nose out from my business and my ass. And put your mind in the word of the Most High where it belongs. Instead of all up in my life. And the fact that you have a problem tells us one thing. You have a problem. You should be on your horn just like I am. Unless you're a woman. And we can go over that another time, can't we? Till next time. Shalom, shalom. These out.